Welcome to On the Money right here on WDBO AM 580, 107.3 FM, always streaming inside your WDBO app. This is your chance to hop on the air with that certified financial planner that you have in your phone right now. I hope you have the Certified Financial Group number saved inside your phone. We'll be giving that out many times throughout the hour, but this is your chance to hop on the air now live because we have two great experts in the certified financial planning field here with the Certified Financial Group. Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert are hosting this episode of On the Money, as they have done for the better part of almost 4 decades now here on WDBO, offering free advice to listeners who call in right now. If you got a question, pick up that phone and give us a call. And all the advice you hear comes directly from the mouth of a certified financial planner. Joe, Chris, how we doing today?
Morning, Josh.
We're doing great. Good to be with you. Yes, the advice is absolutely free here on Saturday mornings. Chris and I and 15 other certified financial planners provide retirement planning and investment management for a fee on Monday through Friday, acting as fiduciaries. But on Saturday morning, we're here for you absolutely free. So if you have anything on your mind regarding your personal finances, things they may have heard, rumors you've come across, things you've read. You want to talk about Deep Seek? Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, boy.
Let's do it. We are here. So we're here to take your calls. The good news for you, the lines are absolutely wide open. Chris and I are fired up, and we welcome your calls. And so if you want to throw out those numbers, Josh, go ahead. I'm
going to throw them. Somebody will catch them. 844-580-9326 is the number to call. 844-580-WDBO, or feel free to send in your question using our open mic feature inside the WDBO app. The topic of today's show, charitable gift planning. Here's the best ways to give away your money in 2025.
Well, that's right, Josh. We're going to talk about giving money away today. A favorite topic of some, maybe not all. And, we should acknowledge up front, there are lots of ways to give. You can give your treasure, which is what we're talking about today, but also time and talent. And, we won't be focusing on those two as much today. But, hey, the market's up pretty big here the last couple of years, I hear, Joe.
Yep.
And so with account values up and asset prices up, that could even real estate and homes and portfolios, now could be a good time to think about fulfilling some of those charitable giving desires for those who are so inclined. And, also we're at the beginning of a new year here, so it's something to think about for those of our listeners who are over 70 and a half and can take advantage of a special way to give, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But, Joe, I got a question for you.
Tell me.
Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out a little bit. Level set here. Okay. Why do you think people give to charity?
Hopefully they're motivated from their heart, their feelings about helping some situation, whether it's your pets or your church or your synagogue, whatever it might be. And then, of course, it's nice to also get a little break on it. I hope that people don't do it. No, you can't do it specifically for the tax purposes because, no, you have to be motivated from your heart.
Kind of altruistic, right?
Exactly. Perfect. That's what I was looking for here on a Saturday morning. You're right. Altruistic.
You want to help others.
Am I right or wrong here?
Hey, you're 100% right. Okay. And like I agree. Hopefully it's from the heart. Yeah. Hopefully it's from the heart. But when you do give from the heart, you want to be able to take advantage of any relief that the tax code would give you.
Right.
So And it's interesting. Another question for you, Joe.
Oh, here we go.
This is like Jeopardy this morning. That's right. Where do you think the United States ranks amongst countries around the world in giving?
Highest, I would think.
We're not.
Really?
We are not.
How about that?
We're number 3.
Who's first and second?
Number 3. Now, this is going to blow you away. All Indonesia is number 1.
Wow.
68% of people give. And Kenya is number 2.
Wow.
61%, and then the U.S. at 59%.
Wow.
That's still pretty strong, right? 6 out of 10 people give something. Yeah, Kenya. And I don't know.
That's got to be in terms of percentages. Certainly not dollars or
percentages.
Whatever.
I think percentages of people that give of the population.
Yes.
So, but in real dollars in the U.S., 2023 are the most updated numbers. For those who are curious, the U.S., we gave away $557 billion with a B.
Wow.
$557 billion. That's quite a lot, So, and this is something I found interesting. So there are kind of 4 buckets of giving. There's individuals like you and I and our listeners There are foundations, right? So the Gates Foundation is one that lots of folks know, and many others. And then there are bequests at the end of one's life when they give. And then lastly would be corporate giving. Guess which one of those is growing the most?
Give me my choices again.
Individuals, foundations, charitable bequests at the end of life, and then corporations.
You know, with the aging of the baby boomers, that big mass of humanity coming through the system, I'm going to guess it's baby boomers.
Well,
end of life.
You're ding, 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 ding.
All right.
The Oracle nails it again.
Well,
how about that? It is bequests, and I thought, isn't that interesting? So that has implications for what we do here, planning, and being sure that dollars end up in the right place, and that our clients who have those desires have a venue to express them, so that we can help them get the money where they want it to go. And I was thinking about this, and hey, every major faith tradition encourages giving. Even Marcus Aurelius, we saw Gladiator, Joe, over the holidays.
Yeah, what'd you think?
So, it was amazing. We never seen the original Gladiator. We saw Gladiator 2.
Right.
We liked it so much we went home the next night and watched Gladiator.
The original.
The original, yeah.
So if you're going to see 2, would you recommend seeing 1 first?
Well, I think, in terms of the historical chronology, it makes sense. But, it didn't hurt us to see the second one first. So,
got it.
But it got me thinking, the Stoic philosophers and Marcus Aurelius and all. And, Marcus Aurelius was a bright guy. He said, man is born for deeds of kindness.
You said that, really?
Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
He was a pretty good guy. I mean, given what he had to do, he wouldn't mind taking lives here and there. But, other than that. Abraham Lincoln said to ease another's heartache is to forget one's own.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I mean, we've all heard that, it's more blessed to give than receive.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I was thinking, this community just recently lost a great philanthropist in Harris Rosen.
Oh, yes.
And I saw some really interesting video, but I thought it's worth saying because he was part of this community. He says it's now time to recognize you've been blessed, to be thankful, and to share your good fortune with others. So, and I think he did that in spades. And I think that's what we're talking about today, sharing our good fortune with others. How do you do that? What are the best ways to do it? So for those who have accumulated some resources and want to give or support charities, there are a number of ways to do that. And so, I kind of think of this as like the stair steps.
Right.
Where do you start? And regardless of your age, you look and you say, okay, if I'm going to give to church, if I'm going to give to Red Cross to help the folks in California or North Carolina or whatever it is, to UCF for that matter, if I have appreciated assets, particularly stocks and mutual funds, that can be the best place to start, right? So you can give those to charity. Avoid paying the capital gains tax, and charity gets to sell it. They don't pay any tax on the capital gains, and everybody wins. You get your deduction up to certain limits.
Sounds like a win-win situation.
Sounds like a win-win.
I like
so why wouldn't you? A lot of folks just don't know that. So they give cash, and they let those assets sit there and continue to appreciate.
And in some cases, don't get the tax deduction because you can't itemize today.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah. So, double whammy.
Yeah.
So even more so, if you're not going to get the tax deduction, at least give away those appreciated, stocks or mutual funds. Right. Take that cash and go buy new ones at a higher cost basis.
Right. Let's drill down a little bit on that. The benefit of giving away an appreciated asset, let's say a mutual fund, ETF, or a stock, as opposed to just writing the check for it, which let's assume you don't get a tax deduction for it. Yes. So I just did some quick math here. In order for you to put that dollar in the collection plate or wherever it goes, okay? And if you're in a 22% tax bracket, you have to have earned $1.28. So $1.28, take 22% of that, you end up with $1 you put in the plate, you get no tax deduction. However, using your strategy here,
there you go. I like that word.
Yeah, you got it. You put in $1 worth of mutual fund, ETF, or a stock,
right?
And you get the full deduction, and you get save on capital gains.
Right, well, yeah, and let's say you paid 70 cents for that mutual fund, and now it's worth $1.
Yeah.
And if you sold it, you'd have to pay tax on that 30 cents of gain.
You got it.
Well, this way, you don't have to pay the tax.
Perfect.
Nor does charity.
There you go.
Everybody wins.
There you go.
And then you take your $1 and you go buy another share of the stock or mutual fund, and now your cost basis is not 70 cents. It's what?
It's $1.
It's $1. Hey,
bingo.
So,
Planning tomorrow today.
That's what we're doing here.
Okay.
So... All right. Now, the next one, which I would say is growing in popularity a lot, and I'm seeing this with my clients. I assume you are, and everyone is, because clients are getting educated and they're realizing, hey, if I'm 70 and a half, I have a real opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I can give, instead of giving cash to my church, synagogue, Red Cross, whomever, I can give from my IRA.
There you go.
And, you mentioned deducting a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Folks may or may not be able to deduct. Well, we've had the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act here for the last 5-6 years?
Mm-hmm.
No. 8 years.
17,
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
8 years.
8 years. So we're going on 8 years. So in that 8 years, the standard deduction got higher, and something like 90% of people take the standard deduction. So most people do not itemize anyway, unless they give a substantial gift or, God forbid, have, substantial healthcare related expenses and that kind of thing. Most people don't itemize.
Right.
So with the qualified charitable distribution, you don't get to deduct it, but even better, you never have to claim it as income.
Right.
So that's something that that folks really want to take advantage of if you're in that camp, because you like I say, you don't get to deduct it, but you don't have to claim it as income, and that can affect other things. Joe,
tell us.
Like Irma. Aunt Irma.
Irma.
She's not as friendly as she sounds, is she?
Nope.
No. So
what is Irma?
Irma is the surcharge on Medicare premiums, and so for those who have, above certain levels of income, which taking funds out of your IRA contributes to.
Right.
They get thrown into Irma, which is a surcharge that shows up 2 years later, and I've never met anyone who's happy about it.
Right.
So, sometimes it can't be avoided, but if it can, we want to try to, and giving qualified charitable distributions can help with that.
And not only Irma, but it could impact the taxation level of your Social Security.
And that too.
Yep.
So, this stuff is all tied together. This is where planning comes in.
Yep. So those are called QCDs.
QCD.
Qualified Charitable Deductions.
That's right. Another acronym.
Right. And
Folks
we know we have many clients as listeners or listeners as clients. Please do not wait till December to implement your QCD.
Well, that's right. Let me tell a quick story on that.
ahead.
Okay. Why you don't wait to December, or I'm going to say even November.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say that, when we get to the end of the third quarter, and this is what I'll be conveying to my clients this year, because of what happened last year, you know what? I hear some music, Josh. We're going to pick up on this, Joe, because everyone needs to know this.
Continuing
it's important
saga.
information. That's right.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned for the end of Chris's story here and some more continuous advice for some great certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert dropping some knowledge today on this episode of On the Money. If you want to join the conversation, the number to call in is 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today
with the Certified Financial Group.
For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're a certified financial group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to the Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're a certified financial group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're a certified financial group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
no reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it. Like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust.
Back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. This is your chance to hop on the air with two certified financial planners with a certified financial group. If you heard something in the news, and believe me, we have all heard something in the news these last few weeks, and you want to make sure you just got the real answer about how to get to and through retirement or any variety of some news stories, that we got Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert, two certified financial planners with a certified financial group, here to answer your questions live on the air. 844-580-9326 is the number to call. 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using that WDBO app. Chris and Joe spent a good chunk of the first segment talking about ways to do some charitable gift planning, and Chris was just now getting into a way to plan the end of your year.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Josh. So where we left off, and for those who might just now be tuning in, we were talking about charitable giving and specifically qualified charitable distribution. So for those age 70 and a half and I have a client last year. We did a number of qualified charitable distributions from his IRA. You could do more than one. I think we did 10 or something. And we thought they were all good because on our side, in Schwab's system, when that goes out to the charity, checks go out to the charity or to the individual to deliver. But this went to the charity. And it looks like it's done. It's completed.
Right.
So from our side, it's done.
Right.
So we said, okay, he has taken enough out of his IRA this year. Good to go. No penalties. Check the box, and do a little dance. Well, guess what? I happened to be in the office on December 31st.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Okay.
Putting on your tuxedo. I saw you.
Yeah, I was indeed, and checking on my clients because I care. And I got a notification on December 31st that one of his checks that had gone out, and we thought he was done with his required distributions for the year, came back in. It was never cashed by the charity.
Oh.
So guess what? Now it's December 31st, and he has not met his required minimum distribution.
Which means
a penalty if you don't comply. So, Chris doesn't like that, and by the grace of God, I've never had one of those, so we'll pray that continues. But here we are, December 31st. Thank God I saw it. I was able to call him. The cash was in his account, and we were able to move it to another account to satisfy his required minimum distribution. So there you go. We thought we were done in October. It came back into his account December 31st. Look, folks, this is why you don't wait. Yeah. I know sometimes folks like to wait to the holiday season, what have you. But here's what we have started saying. We want to get them done sooner. And we had a couple of these last year. The check went out from Schwab, but it never got cashed.
For those that may not be familiar with all the moving parts of a tax distribution and RMDs and QCDs and so forth. So here you have a client that wanted to take money out of his IRA to satisfy what the government says you have to take out of your account now at age 73, right?
Correct.
And if you don't take it out, what happens?
You get penalized.
And the penalty is?
You get penalized. Well, it used to be 50%, Joe.
Right.
It's now 25%.
Right. But still, you're 25% penalty.
You're throwing money away.
On something you thought was done. You're trying to help the charity. The check never cashed. I had the same circumstance just happened to me. It came out of my donor advised fund. Donor advised fund sent the money. It's been a month now, and the charity has not received the check.
Oh man,
so
not good.
No, but it didn't. It wasn't a QCD situation. So we stopped payment. They stopped payment on the check, and it's going to be reissued. But that stuff happens.
Well, it's a good thing you're paying attention because sometimes, and this was not, out of the 10 we gave from his IRA, it was not one of the more substantial. So, I think that he assumed the charity got it, cashed it, and everyone was all the better. But yes. You're correct. These things happen.
Your point is do not wait until December, and you're recommending you ought to be done at the end of the third quarter.
I think that's a noble target, and that's what we're going to be striving for, at least initiating them by then.
Yes, and we do that for our clients. We have clients like you that have several. I mean, it goes to all forms of charities around the world.
Yes.
And a lot of paperwork needs to be done as part of the service we do for our clients. But don't wait till December 31st, end of the third quarter. Let's get in touch and get it done. I hear the music, Josh.
Get her done. Yeah, and we got a question from Daryl we want to pick up on when we come back. And you mentioned donor advised funds.
Yes.
So I want to talk about those too.
All right.
Let's do it. Get to Daryl's question. If you got a question of your own, you're listening right now, give us a call, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Send in that open mic using the free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning today with the Certified Financial Group.
Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal? Oh, I like veal. Well, what do you got on skirt steak. Oh, we got some great skirt steak. Just came in yesterday from Montana. Skirt steak is one of my favorite, marinated up a little bit. It's fantastic. Lou will never say to you, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy. Your cholesterol is getting high. Why don't you go down to the fishmonger a couple blocks and have a nice piece of salmon? Right? He'll never do that. Why? His job is to sell me meat, and I go in, actually the same way I go into the Toyota dealership, because I like Toyotas, and I trust the salesman to sell me a good product if I trust him. And the fact that he's got my interest at heart vis-a-vis my expectations for selling me that thing. By the same token, when I go to see a dietitian, I know she's going to look at all of my labs, she's going to take all the measurements, she's going to run all of her analysis, and she's going to absolutely give me her best thinking on what's best for me. Whether she's a vegetarian or a meat lover, likes this, likes that, if she thinks I should be doing something differently, even if it's not good for her, she's going to give me an opinion that's for my interest. So what's the difference between a fiduciary and the brokers? Well, these are dietitians, these are butchers. It's that simple. Brokers are butchers selling product. Fiduciaries are dietitians looking after your health. The problem is most people think that their butcher is a dietitian. So when one of your moms or dads or friends calls the broker and says, I got 200 grand, I sold a little piece of property, or I got some inheritance, what should I do with it? They're going in thinking they're talking to a dietitian, and they're really talking to Lou the butcher.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have. That's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow, today. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're a certified financial group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach
mic button down in the bottom right hand corner. Give us your best 10 to 15 seconds and I'll play back your question, comment live on the air as if you're sitting here in studio with us. And let me define us. I am just radio guy, but I work with Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert, two certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group, answering your calls every Saturday morning live here on the Money. If you want to call in, the number is 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or again, send in that open mic. If you got a question that's a little more personal, or maybe it pops into your head, or maybe you're not available to use that phone until after this show wraps today, right around 10 o'clock, then I want you to have this number saved in your phone. That number is 407-869-9800. Currently, Charles Curry is standing by off the air to take your call. It's like your own personal radio show. You are the host, and Charles is the expert. Again, 407-869-9800. We got Chris and Joe here to answer your calls live on the air, and we're talking charity this day.
We are indeed talking charity. And Joe, you mentioned something just before the break there, a donor-advised fund. So that's something else. So we've talked about giving appreciated, stocks, mutual funds, assets, real estate for that matter. We talked about qualified charitable distributions. Tell us all what a donor-advised fund is real quick.
A donor-advised fund is a very efficient way to allocate your charitable donations throughout the year just by almost a press of a button. What you do is you make a contribution to the donor advised fund. You make that contribution, you get the immediate tax deduction up to the limits, of course, and then money sits there and it stays invested however you want it invested. And then when you have a charity that you want to make the contribution to, you go online, pull up the charity's name. It's got to be in the system as a bona fide 501c3 organization. And then you determine how much of a grant you want to make, hit the button, and boom, the check is sent out. The beauty of that is that you don't have to write a bunch of checks. You don't have to, you can, as the mood hits you, and that's what I do, strangely enough, throughout the year. I want to make a charitable contribution. I go online, my donor advised fund, pull it up, send X number of dollars to this organization, and then it's done. But you get the tax deduction immediately, and you don't. The nice thing about that, Chris, is I do so much charity. Say this the right way. I give money to charity on a regular basis, and I put it in the donor advised fund, but it'll sit there, and it could sit there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. But I get the tax deduction in the year in which I make it.
I'm thinking of one other benefit. Guess what? You get one receipt for your giving.
Yes.
As opposed to 10, 15. I've literally had clients get 40, 50. They give $5 here, $10.
Right.
To the Navajo Indian.
Yes.
And all
exactly.
that. And it's great. That's great.
Yes.
But man, at tax time, it's a lot to put together. So that's another. You know what I call them, Joe? I call them a charitable checkbook.
Yeah,
charitable checkbook.
I like that. I like that.
So you give once and the money's sitting there.
Yep.
Now you got to give it to charity.
Yep.
You can't take it back,
Yes,
right? But it's there to be given when you're ready. And sometimes folks say, hey, it's end of the year. I do want to give it away, but I want this tax deduction too. I'll give a gift to that donor advised fund. Again, putting two of these things together like a Reese peanut butter cup, right? It becomes even, but wait, there's more. It becomes better. Because you can give appreciated stocks or mutual funds to the donor advised fund.
That's what I've done.
Even better, right?
Yep.
Now, but you cannot give a qualified charitable distribution to a donor advised fund. You can't do that.
Yes, that's crazy.
Not yet, anyway.
Yes.
I hear it's being bantied about.
Yes.
But, and I know we want to wrap this up because we got a question from Daryl we want to get to. But I did want to say, there are also charitable trusts and things like that, more involved charitable planning for those that maybe want to give substantial gifts and all. But, there are a lot of resources out there that can help folks. One that I have found to be almost like us, Joe, almost kind of like a fiduciary in the space of giving is Central Florida Foundation.
Yes, exactly.
And they're a great organization, and they will sit down and walk folks through possibilities and talk to them. And they have something that I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called an IRA rollover fund.
No.
So we said you cannot give a qualified charitable distribution to a donor advised fund.
Right.
But Central Florida Foundation has this IRA rollover fund. You can give a gift to the fund from your IRA, qualified charitable distribution, to that fund. And at that time, you have to name the charities that are going to receive the monies from that fund, and they can receive it up to 10 years.
Oh.
By the end of 10 years, it has to be depleted. So, or you could name 2 or 3 charities, you know, Second Harvest and Habitat for Humanity. You know, I want it to go 50-50 over the next 10 years or over the next 5 years.
Right.
So you can do that with a qualified charitable distribution.
How about that?
Kind of novel, right?
How about that? I had not heard about that.
Pretty cool.
Good thing to stay tuned on a Saturday morning. What you learn here.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank
You never
for
know what
sharing.
you might learn.
That's
But,
right.
you know, so anyway, that's pretty cool. And obviously for those who are interested, you mentioned donor advised funds. Schwab has it. Fidelity has it. There are a number of others out there. You know, Central Florida Foundation has one. And there, you know, countless organizations do this now. It's really grown in popularity. And then certainly, you know, there are planned giving officers in all, you know, the major universities, churches, dioceses, you know, wherever that can help you think this through. And that's what we do, right? That's what we do too. So anyway, that is a, you know, flyover of charitable giving and opportunities that are there for folks to wisely give away some of their treasure. But we did have a question from Daryl, and I want to get to that, Joe.
Yep.
Josh, do you have that?
I got it. If you want to join the conversation, again, we got open lines 844-580-9326. Daryl writes in. Daryl says, can Joe and Chris please explain how to reduce taxes I pay to Uncle Sam? RMD concerned BB 653.
I think BD, that's probably DB, date of birth, 653.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Yeah, so Daryl's going to be 72 this year.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So no required distribution this year for you, Daryl. Starts at 73. How to reduce taxes? Well, where do we begin on that one, Joe? I mean, there's a number of things, right?
Well, if you're working, you want to maximize the contribution to your retirement accounts, IRA, 401k, 403b, whatever that
Health
may be.
savings account, right?
HSA, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So,
once
if you're working, but if you're 72, you may not be, right? So then things change a little bit, right? And I think that's where, if, you know, depending on whether you're working and accumulating or you're no longer working, at least for a paycheck, and you're decumulating, let's say, you're living off of Social Security and assets you've saved, that's where things change. And I think that's where you have to, that's where the planning really comes in.
Yep.
And, you know, for some folks, they've saved well in their retirement plans at work, and that is their nest egg. And so when that's the only bucket, I'll say, that you have to draw from, you know, you have kind of limited options in the sense that it's your Social Security and that, and everything you take out of there, unless it's a Roth, is taxable.
Right.
For those that have some money in after-tax buckets, either a joint account or whatever, you know, that they've already paid tax on, that's outside of the IRA and 401k environment, they can oftentimes, you know, plan to draw some from both buckets to target being in certain tax brackets and, you know, subject to what they need to live. So again, this is where the planning comes in. But I think, you know, you have another lever to pull, at least if you have after-tax money versus only having the IRA or even a Roth. You know, we tend to prefer to let those Roths simmer as long as possible, but it is an option to get some other income, you know, in retirement. So to Daryl's question, what do you do to minimize taxes? I think, look, you try to manage wisely, and then you take advantage of the kind of things Joe and I are talking about, you know, earlier this hour, right? I mean, if you do giving, it really is situation specific, but if you do giving, are you doing that in the smartest way possible so you're not driving your income up? So I think it's, you know, there's the income side, and then I'll say kind of the expense or deduction side that you want to manage as well as possible, and different situations allow for more or less levers to be pulled on both the income and the deduction side.
Right. And what you want to do is look at it on a year-by-year basis, because there is an opportunity perhaps to do what we call bunching deductions.
That's right.
So you want to explain how that works?
Well, of course, yeah. So, you know, for those, again, we said 9 out of 10 people do not itemize.
Right.
And so because of that, many have started saying, hey, you know, I am paying property taxes, I am doing charitable giving, but it's not enough to be able to itemize my deductions. So, hey, instead of paying my property taxes in November, I will wait until January 1st, okay? And then I'll pay my property taxes. I'll still get some level of discount. And maybe I'll do the same with my charitable giving, right? For 2024, I'll hold off, and then 2025's here. Okay, now I'm going to do my 24 giving. Now I'm going to do my 24 or 25, I guess, property taxes. And then at the end of 2025, we get to November, you say property taxes are due again. Guess what? I'm going to pay them now.
Right.
And I'll go ahead and do my charitable giving now for the following year. So in other words, you're cramming 2 years worth of expenses and giving into one calendar or tax year.
Right.
So that you are able to potentially be able to itemize your deduction.
Right. So 1 year you get the standard deduction, and the next year you get double. You may exceed the standard deduction because you've doubled up on your property taxes and your charitable giving. Many folks think that I can't pay property taxes twice 1 year. I only get a deduction for 1 year. It's when you pay the property taxes. So you add that to your charitable giving. That might be just enough to get you the standard deduction. Also reduce taxes on our friend Irma and maybe your Social Security. So that's what planning is all about, folks.
Yes, it is.
As I hope we demonstrated this morning, we are first and foremost certified financial planners that manage a lot of money for clients, but they both go hand in hand.
Yes.
We say good planning or good investing requires good planning, and that's what Chris and I and the 15 other certified financial planners do. And Daryl I saw another comment at the end of that. Josh, you want to read that?
Of course. If you want to join the conversation, 844-580-9326. Daryl's follow-up question was, first off, thank you. I'm sure he says thank you for you guys answering that question as you do every single weekend. But he wants to know, when do I file and when do I get ready to file? Please explain what's needed and how to file.
Well, there's no special filing for your RMDs.
That's right. There's nothing extra that you do. But what happens, Daryl, is if you don't have to take a required distribution this year if you're 72. You can. It's your money. You can always take it when you want, right? But the IRS says you have to next year, or, let's say next year. You could defer it until April 1st of the following year, and then you'd have to do 2 in 2027. But let's say you do one, this year anyway. Let's just say you were 73 this year, and you decided to take your required distribution. Well, what's going to happen is, Schwab Fidelity is going to send you next spring, come tax time, they're going to send you a 1099, a 1099-R. And that 1099 is going to say, hey, Daryl, you took, $5,000 out of your retirement account and you withheld, 20% for taxes. So that $1,000 that was withheld goes against your tax bill for 2025. And you have to then take that 1099 with your Social Security and with any other income items and expense items you have. And you either do it yourself with TurboTax or you go to the CPA, and they include that income as part of your taxes. So that's how it works. There's no separate filing. It becomes part of your 1040. It's an IRA distribution. I forget what line it is, but it's right there on the front page of your 1040. And so that's what you have to do. Really nothing special. You just have to be aware that you're required to start at 73. Okay, there is the April 1st by the year after the year in which you turn 73, and so you can bunch 2, to Joe's comment earlier, you can bunch 2 in a year if maybe you've got some exogenous event or, higher income in your 73rd year or something like that. But, for many people that doesn't apply, and so we, generally speaking, encourage them to start at 73.
And remember that 1099 that you got? The IRS got it as well. So
yes, they did.
You can't hide from it.
You can't hide. And they compare yours versus theirs.
Exactly.
And they normally win. Yep. So
I hear the bumper music. Josh, take it away.
You got it. 844-580-9326 is the number to call. Charles Curry standing by off the air. If the question pops into your head in 10 or more minutes, or it's a little more personal, write down this number for Charles, 407-869-9800. That is the number for Certified Financial Group, 407-869-9800. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.
Providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, at providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's
The Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. My name is Josh McCarthy, sitting here today with Chris Toadvine and Joe Bert with the Certified Financial Group, offering that good advice to get you to and through and retirement, as they do every single weekend, every single Saturday, live at 9 here on WDBO. If you want to call in, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Charles Curry standing by off the air to answer any questions you may have as the show comes to a close today. That number is 407-869-9800. And if you wanted to go see Certified Financial Planners, Gary Abley or Charles Curry, they have a lot of workshops here coming up. Isn't that right, guys?
Yeah, coming up next Saturday, a week from today at 10 o'clock here at our offices in Altamont Springs, Gary Abley will be hosting Tax-Efficient Investing and Distribution Strategies. It's a great workshop. Gary, in addition to being a CFP, is also a CPA. And this is very, very well received. I guarantee you walk away with some ideas that can save you money and on how to take money out of your retirement accounts in a very tax-efficient way. So if you want more information about that, go to our website. That's financialgroup.com, financialgroup.com. Click on workshops, and you can make your reservation right there online. And that's followed up with February 22nd, Savvy IRA Planning for Boomers, strategies to help you save taxes and get more out of your IRA. Excuse me, 3 weeks from today, February 22nd, once again at our offices here in Altamont Springs in our Learning Center. We can easily accommodate 35 folks, and they fill up fast. So if you want information about those, they're absolutely free. And the reason we do this is to prevent you from becoming a financial casualty and to perhaps introduce you to what Chris and I and the 15 other certified financial planners do for our clients, providing retirement planning, investment management for a fee Monday through Friday. But on Saturday morning, you're going to get that information here and also at the workshop absolutely free. More information, go to our website, financialgroup.com. And I saw we got a text question floated in there, Josh.
You got it right. A timely question, too, for today's topic. Ruby wants to know if there is a limit on the amount she can give to charity from her retirement account.
What do you say, Joe?
I say there is. Depends on how you do it. You know, if you do the QCD, in fact, that's the only way you can take it out of your retirement. And you can't do it out of your 401k, 403b, 457. It's got to come out of your IRA.
Yeah. I mean, part of Congress's desire to keep us confused, I think. You know? Or the Financial Advisor Full Employment Act,
like it.
maybe. You know? So, but this year, it started off at 100,000. It's up to 108,000 this year. 108,000, Ruby. So that's a good question and certainly applicable to today's topic. But $108,000 is the most that you can give to charity directly from your IRA. So
qualify the QCD.
Qualified charitable distribution. That's correct. Yep. Good question.
And
Ruby.
The one thing
Thank
about
you.
the QCD, and you alluded to it before, it doesn't have to go to directly to the charity. You can get the check payable to you.
No. It has to
can't
be made payable to the charity.
That's what I meant. You can have it sent to you, but
I know
not
what you're
payable to you.
meaning. Yeah. You can have it.
Yes.
So it'll be made payable to the charity.
Yes.
But it can either go to the charity directly, and this is where we've run into the challenges, I think, Joe, or it can come to you so that you can deliver it to the charity.
Yes.
And I'm beginning to favor that a little more, just because that way you know if you got it or not.
Exactly.
Because I think a lot of times, and I had another client last year, not the one I told about in the story earlier, same thing. We gave early in the year. He assumed that his church got it. We assumed that they got it. And then he asked us, somehow he discovered, wait a minute, I think it actually came back into his account. Maybe it was last summer or something. But he said, wait a minute, what's going on here? I thought this was sent out. And we said, well, we did too.
Yeah.
So that's what we told him. This year we've had them delivered to him so he can actually take it to the church, and he knows they got it. And that's an option you have. And same with the donor advised fund, right?
Yep.
You have that choice. It can go to charity. It can go to you to deliver to charity. So,
but it's got to be payable to the charity, not to you, and that's the way it works.
That's the way it works. There you go. That's right.
All right, you heard the bumper music, Josh. Thanks for being with us and hosting a great show. We're the host, right? You're the producer. All right. One of these days,
thanks
I'll
for
have
your
that
help,
figured out.
Josh. Whatever it is you do.
I'm that third guy. I'm the one that's just the middleman between the questions and the answers.
Well, you did a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If you got questions that I'll middleman you, I guess I won't middleman you to Charles because he is in the office at Certified Financial Group. Call 407-869-9800. You've just listened to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.